That one was terrifying. I'm getting chills just thinking about it, man.
If they made that as a maze,
I
don't know if I can even go in it.
Hello and welcome back to the Haunt Line, the show dedicated to SoCal haunts and events. And welcome to our first ever Halloween special. I'm very excited today because we have a very special guest coming on the show. But before we get to that, I do want to say thank you to everybody for your support throughout this season. This has been a blast. Putting together these videos has been a great time. It's been a great way to kind of keep myself distracted and occupied during the pandemic. And I appreciate every comment, every follow, every retweet, every subscription. You guys are awesome, and I'm happy that you've been enjoying this as much as I've been enjoying it too. And like I've said before, I don't really have any intention currently of stopping. So the content's going to keep coming. And again, thank you guys so much for your support. I mean, we wouldn't be where we are now without your support through social media, on YouTube, and everywhere, even the podcast. So thank you guys so much. And well, with that, let's get into today's episode, which is going to be a lot of fun. Today, we're going to be counting down the horror movies with the best jump scares. But in order to do that, I called for some backup. Today's guest is the host of Horror Movies and Beyond, who you might have seen as part of the Midsummer Scream live stream in August, the Oprah of horror. Please welcome to the show, Ivotres Littles. Welcome, Ivotres.
Hello.
It is a pleasure to have you on, and I am looking forward to your expertise in this subject. Obviously, this year, a lot of the events have canceled. We've canceled, obviously, Halloween Horror Nights, Not Scary Farm, and Queen Mary Dark Harbor, right? So a lot of us for this Halloween special are looking, I know, we're looking to fill that void with some jump scares. So I come to you, the expert, the master of all things horror, to give us a list of horror movies with the best jump scares.
Oh man!
So
so much pressure now.
No pressure, no pressure. Now, before we jump into the list, what got you interested in horror?
You know, I get that question all the time. It all started when I was little.
Nice.
It really just started when I was little, probably 4 years old. The first horror movie was The Thing.
Wow.
Yes,
hell of a start. Okay.
I know. My family just jumped right in. So, yeah, I was trying to sneak and watch it, and my parents got tired of me trying to sneak behind the couch, and after they keep telling me to go in the room. So finally, they was like, no, you're going to sit here and watch it. So I had to sit there and watch it, and the first scene I remember at that time is when Norris's chest opened.
Yeah.
And his head slid down the table and crawled away. So I, at 4 years old, seeing that, yes. And then,
quite an impact, I'm sure.
Then, you know, as I grew older, it became like a family thing. We'd go to the theaters, the drive-in, when those were popular. It was just, you know, The Thing, The Fly with Jeff Goldblum,
Nice.
Pet Sematary,
Nice.
Child's Play, Candyman. we went as a family. Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get into our countdown, I've got one last question for you. This one's kind of a big one, kind of important one here. Ivotres, what is your favorite horror movie?
The Thing.
Nice.
1982.
Nice. Yes. What about it?
I love them all. I actually do. The original, the prequel. I like them all. But
Nice.
The Thing, 1982, is because it was the first horror film, and it's one of the first films that I sat with both my parents. My dad passed away when I was little. So actually watching it just reminds me of him.
Sure.
I know it's kind of strange. It's weird, but for some reason, I just love the story. Okay, besides memories, I love the story. The acting, they're really good. I love how it's the beginning of a lot of their careers.
Yes.
You know, Keith David, that was his first big movie, and you wouldn't even know it. I mean, he was so good and so natural. Now look at him. So it's a beginning and first for everyone. And it is one of those movies that seemed to fail when it came out, but it became, you know, the winner over the years. So it just so much. I could talk about it all day.
Yeah, and I do love it's kind of a whodunit, right?
Yeah.
There's still a mystery to it. You don't know what happens. You don't know who it was. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a great choice, and God, it's disgusting, but it is so much fun.
Definitely.
Excellent choice. I love it. All right, well, let's start going into your picks for the movies with the best jump scares. Let's start with your number 5.
I'm gonna have to say Host number 5.
Okay. All right. Now this one it's fairly recent, and it's one of those special movies because it's like the pandemic film, right? It's a pandemic horror film. So tell us about Host.
Well, are we talking about the movie or how I would want the maze?
No,
that's important. That's
true. Yeah. Well, let's start with the movie. Tell us about the movie and the jump scares in the movie.
Well, gosh, there's so many. I think the jump scares in this film, when you jump scare, you jump. It's not one of those like, ooh. You know, it was like, oh, okay. No, this was like,
I love it. Those are the best kinds,
so,
yes.
I'm not giving, you know, I don't know who watched them or who watched it already or anything, but there's so many. I don't want to give too much away, but it's one of those films that you have to watch. It's very simple. I love how they brought back even though it was in the modern world right now with technology, you can always find a ghost with a Polaroid. Sure. Yeah, classic. Yeah, absolutely. So she was like taking pictures, and then it's, you know, you're like, what? And then you know, she see it, and you know, you got to fan it out forever, and then that's when you're just like,
oh, there it is. I love it.
I'm not giving too much away for those who haven't seen it, but it's that's another thing about this film. You have to like look like like get close.
Okay.
Like, what? I don't see it.
Oh man, so they're really setting you up for that.
Yeah, and then when you see it, you're like,
Now you mentioned a maze. Do you have an idea for a maze for Host?
Well, God, I had to write it down. So it reminded me of a maze at Knott's that I've been to Knott's Scary Farm so many times, and I would jump here and there, but there's only one maze since I've been going there that scared me to death. It's called Trick or Treat.
Yes.
And I thought of the idea where you have a device that you carry and it has a screen, so so it's dark, but you know, it has lights on there, so you have to move it.
Wow. And
as you're moving it, you'll start seeing things, and it, you know, you could press to flash, and then whatever come up on the screen. So you need that to maneuver through the maze. And
wow.
And then, you know, there are I wrote it down. There's like parts where you'll see that a face in the middle of the room. Obviously, it's digital, and then it like moves, and chairs sliding, things like that. So it make it interactive. You know, Knott's is really good at that now. From the last one I went to, it was very interactive. So I thought that would work.
Wow, that is genius. I would love to see something like that happen. And it would be a great use of modern technology, because I mean they have augmented reality experiences. I mean, how when you shop at IKEA, you can use augmented reality to see the chair in your room, right? So yeah, that would be a great way to do that. That is genius. Let's call them. We'll get that going. We'll definitely get that going for next season. All right, well, hit us with your next pick, your number 4 on your list.
My next one is Terrified.
Yes.
Something about Shudder. They've been cranking them out really good. So Terrified, I think it takes place in Argentina. I hope I said that right. Please, somebody. Okay, nobody.
Approved. You got it.
And it's kind of a dimensional. It's like two worlds. If you move one way, you see another world, and you move this way, it's the normal world. And it's kind of possession, some exorcism, I guess, going on. It's
classic.
It is subtitled, so you have to read.
Right.
But it doesn't take away, because it's not a lot of dialogue, but there's some scenes in there that completely creep you out. I mean, there's so many creepy factors of dimensional, like I love how you have to shift, because I find myself moving like this a little bit with them. Like, I want to see.
Peeking around the corner, like, hey.
So definitely a movie to watch. It is creepy. It does have some good jump scares. It doesn't have a lot of jump scares. I think the jump scares is not that it's jumping at you. I think it's one of those, like, you're not expecting that. It's that not expecting. So you're walking with them. You're like, oh, oh, I didn't think that would be there. So it's like that. It's really, really good.
Wow. Awesome. I love it. All right. That's a good choice. And a nice foreign film, too. I love it. All right. Hit us with number 3 on your list.
VHS.
Yes.
The series. Now, I've seen 1, 2, and 3. We won't mention number 3. Not saying it's a bad. No. There's no bad movies. It's just misguidance.
I like
There's
it.
no bad movie, because somebody here is probably like, oh my God, that is a masterpiece. And I respect that. It's not a bad film. I think the direction went way over there, and it's just not for me. The first one, the first one was good. The second one scared me. There were some moments in there I was like, woo. The first one was Lily. I think it was Lily. She was like the siren in there. And there's actually a movie called The Siren that actually explains Lily in VHS. So where she comes from, it's kind of a prequel where she comes from, and then if you watch VHS, the first one, and see her, that's where she ended up. That was the end.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow, I never knew that. That's cool. I'm going to have to...
Yeah, it's good. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of quirky, some moments, but there's some really good stuff in there. The aliens in VHS 2, this family is like sitting in the house, minding their own business. The kids is like a sleepover. All of a sudden, you see some metal... in the glass door, they're like, did you see that? It's always, did you see that? and then all of a sudden, it's like, it just snatched up the kid. You're like, how did it even get in there? And then you hear these horns and this light. That is terrifying, because it felt like no matter what they did to get away, they could not get away.
Right. And man, I remember so vividly the first time that we lay eyes on one of those aliens, and you're just like, what the?
Because it's so quick. So you're kind of seeing the point of view, and then you see the point of view of the dog. So it's like, it's just terrifying. And then the sounds, it's like, oh. Yeah. The last one that got me, I think it was called Haven. This goat thing. So it's these couple, it was like a found footage group. They wanted to take video of this cult, and it seems okay. Yeah. And then it got out of hand. Then you hear siren noises, people standing around. I mean, it can't get any more terrifying. No matter where he goes, it's like people are like going crazy, and this goat thing is chasing him. Yeah, I was like, oh. I was like, I'm done.
That one was terrifying. I'm getting chills just thinking about it, man.
That as a maze.
I don't
know if I can even go in it.
No. I would run out of there so fast, man.
So VHS series, of course.
Absolutely. And I love that they're like short films too. Yeah. So you get a lot of films in one package, and it's so great.
Yes.
I love it. All right, give us your number 2 on your list. We're coming down to the to number 1 pick. What's your number 2?
Let's go with Signs.
Signs, yes. More scary aliens, yes.
I know, me and the aliens, look, the thing, right?
Hey, I feel it. I aliens creep me out. I gotta tell you, the ocean and aliens for me is just like, I don't go to either, man. No, thank you.
So you didn't like The Abyss?
Oh, hey, that one definitely had its moments for me. Great movie, but I was on the edge of my seat, definitely.
Okay, so Signs. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Classic.
M. Night, I can't say his last name for the life of me. So he's M. Night today.
There you go.
That he wrote that very well. And the casting made a difference. I don't think if anybody was in there, it wouldn't work right because it was believable. You believe them. So basically it's this dad who's like, he lost his faith because his wife was in a horrific accident. Now, let me tell you, there are horrific accidents, but this was just wrong. I mean, that was, because you're thinking, car accident, yeah. No, this one was like, that's messed up. So I'm not even going to say what happened to her, but let's just say she said her goodbyes in the most splitting way you could think of.
Oh, come on, M. Night. What's wrong with you, man?
That was so sad. That was so sad, but you understood why he questioned his faith. And during this time, somebody was outside messing with the crops and he's trying to figure out what's going on. The creepy parts that are in there, the jump scares. I think one of the best jump scares, well written, was when I think his name's Joaquin Phoenix. He was sitting in there. It was on the news. The kids are screaming in the house and he's like, move out of the way so he can see. And he's looking on his screen and all of a sudden the kids are like inside because they had a birthday party. So whatever scared them outside from the cake and ice cream had to be serious. So they were in the house and the camera was following them. The kids were screaming. He was like screaming. Everybody's screaming. All of a sudden the camera stopped and then you see it just walk by and I must have just flew. I flew. I was like, because it was like you trying to see it with them. And then when you finally see it, just not what you expect.
Right.
It was like, it walked by like, yeah. And then just kept going.
I had a strut to it. It was like,
it was like but it went to the side though. Like it had hips and stuff. Like it was weird. But that was scary. The hand under the door was scary. I mean, there's so many good elements. Definitely Signs is up there for me.
Oh man, classic Signs. And scary aliens, dude. Keep those away from me, man. All right, we've come down to the final on your top 5. What is your number 1 choice for the best jump scares in a horror movie?
The Conjuring.
Yes. Oh man. Yes. So tell us all about The Conjuring.
Oh man. Okay. That is a very simple film, but it's very effective in what it's trying to do. Scare the crap out of you. So basically it's this poor family. They're being, they move in, it's always the poor family that's moving into a place they have nothing about. Like let's move into this abandoned house. It costs $3. But
it'll be fine. Yeah. It's fine.
So they move in there, and it's old and kind of, some parts are worn down. It's a fixer-upper, but, the family of 7, they move into the house and then all of a sudden weird things start happening. And then they get crazier and crazier. And then to the point that she was like, oh, I got to go get some help. So they go through the stage and then people getting possessed. And then, they got to play this whole clap thing where they clap in their hands through the house. And I think that would be a great maze. Like you walk in and, you're going through clap, 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 clap here and there. And then you see things moving. And then you go to the basement and it's like these actors are like trying to, do this thing to get this chair that's upside down on the scene. It's like banging and you're like walking through. Right. And I mean, my goodness. That
would be great. Absolutely. Yeah, totally. I would love that as a maze.
That's my number 3 favorite movie in the world too.
Wow. Nice. Yeah. And let me tell you, the performances in that are so great. I mean, Vera Farmiga is such a talented actress. Patrick Wilson is too. Yeah. And then Lily Taylor was terrifying in this, man. Like, holy crap, dude. She was, give her an Oscar just for that. Terrifying. Yeah, absolutely terrifying.
She was The Haunting. The Haunting.
Right.
She's just good when it comes to creepy. They're all just great.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. Great choice. And man, there are some jump scares in that like, ooh, they hit you in your chest, man. Like they get you good, dude, like to your core.
Yes.
Great choice. Excellent choice. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are the 5 movies presented to you with the best jump scares. But Ivotre, before I let you go, you have one more that's an honorable mention. Hit us with that guy.
Oh my goodness. I've played the video games and I've read the whole story about it. It is Silent Hill.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with Silent Hill.
Silent Hill. If that was a maze, it starts off with fog and then it says, welcome to Silent Hill. You walk in a room, you hear sirens and the walls melt. And then all of a sudden, oh, I even have their names. What are they? Bobblehead, Pyramid Head. Oh my goodness. Colin, if you remember Colin in the movie, he was in the bathroom with his legs all twisted up. I mean, that's just a horrible way to go. I mean, some of those monsters could be, with Hellraiser, or Hellraiser would be like, man, I wouldn't do nothing like that. So I don't know. Silent Hill. The first one, I've seen I've seen the other 3, but I think the first Silent Hill was closer to the game. But it was a mixture of 1 and 2 of the video game.
Now, this is one that I've never seen, but so jump scare levels pretty high in this?
They're not necessarily jump scares. I think it gives more of the creep factor to where you don't expect. It has that unexpected. I mean, the movie, the sounds is scary. It's definitely one of those films to watch. Play the game too. Play the game too if you can.
Nice. Well, there you have it, folks. Those are 6 movies that you can watch this Halloween to get the jump scares that you're seeking. Ivotre, thank you so much for being on the show. Where can everyone find you?
They can find me everywhere. They can find me on YouTube. You can type in Horror Movies and Beyond, and I will pop up. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter and Instagram a lot. Twitter is H Movies and Beyond, and Instagram is Horror Movies and Beyond. So just type that in and I'll come up. Type in my name, Ivotre Little, is in everything.
I love it. I love it. Well, Ivotre, once again, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for your time. And I'm going to have to check some of these off of my list as well and get my spooks on. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having this. Was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Great, yeah, we'll do something else sometime soon. And in fact, I mean, hell, I think it would be a blast to go through some mazes with you at Not Scary Farm. So maybe when it comes back,
you will be left behind because I'm a runner. I am a runner.
Noted. All right, cool. Good to know. Thanks for the warning. All right, Ivotre, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And well, that's going to do it for today's episode of The Hauntline and our very special Halloween episode. Be sure and go out and rent these movies to have a spooky good time. And hey, let us know down in the comments below, are there any movies that we should add to this list that have really good jump scares? Don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Hauntline. You can visit us on the web for links to all of our stuff. And don't forget to check out our podcast, which has new episodes out now on all podcast streaming platforms. And until the next time, thank you for calling The Hauntline, and happy Halloween.